So first I'm going to use Google, and I'm going to use Google because it'll draw a basis of information. It'll give me a brief overview of the topics and the sources that I'm going to draw from early in the research process. So my first term is 21st century workforce skills. And as I search, I look down, I see a Huffington Post article, which is a news source. I see some organizations. Don't really see a lot, so I'm see a lot of things that I understand, so I'm going to click on the first source and investigate further. So this source is from the National Institute for Professional Practice. As I scroll down, it seems to give a brief overview of what employers and what is valued in the job market in the 21st century, which is in line with what I'm looking to answer and in line with the research I'm doing. It correlates well with the prompt. So I see some references, and as I look down, I see a reference page at the bottom. So I can tell that this source is relatively well backed up, and it's very reliable, and it's usable in an educational context. So I go back, I'm going to look at a couple more sources. Here I'm going to look at this Huffington Post article, which I mentioned before is a news source. It's under the education tab. From the title of the article, I can see that it may be a beneficial article, and as I look down, it seems to have beneficial information, and however the Huffington Post may be a biased news source, it does provide certain statistics and certain organizations that back up their evidence and their assertions. So, and it seems to be written by two men who are very skilled and knowledgeable in this area, which is very good when determining what research tools are usable. So as I look down, yeah, there doesn't seem to be a lot with this term, so I think I'm going to modify this term to get better sources that match with what my objectives are, because from this search I may be straying off from the questions I want to answer. So I'm still going to use Google for my second term, and I'm going to use students and knowledge sector. Here I'm going to use a Boolean operator because that'll help me combine search terms to find the most reliable and the most relevant information. However, as I look down, I don't really see a lot. I see some university publications. I see some book publications here. I see a U.S. News report. I'm going to look up and investigate these sources further. I'm going to look at the first source, which appears to be an international source. Yeah, as I look down, it seems to be an Australian-based source. Seems to be notes on a workshop, and that's probably not helpful for the questions I'm looking to answer, especially since it's an international publication and maybe more off task than what I'm looking for. I'll go back. I can see that some scholarly articles are given. I'm going to look at the second source. So the second source is published by an organization called EdSource, which I'm not quite sure what it is, so I don't know. I can't speak on the reliability of that source so far. However, as I look down, it seems to be very commentary based, and there doesn't seem to be many factual or evidence elements given, so I can't really trust this article. I think I'm going to change my search term because it's still not really giving me the things I'm looking for to answer the questions, and I need to remain on task to answer my objectives and to fulfill my research objectives. So for my third source, I'm going to use a different search engine, and here I'm going to use the Ohio State University Libraries database, and this database specifically is WorldCat at OSU. This database draws from numerous databases around the world, and it draws from the Ohio State Library as well as many others. As I look down, I can see this seems to be a valuable source. It's an ebook. I can see the database is WorldCat. The Ohio State University owns this item. However, I can view this ebook online. So I'm going to take a quick look at it. So looking at the elements in this ebook, it looks to be mainly on technology and the knowledge economy, which is somewhat related to my topic. However, I can use this source because it is a scholarly source. However, I cannot base all of my information on the source because that would not answer the prompt that I'm looking to answer. So looking at this, I can draw information from this source. However, if I look all the way down, I know I can find related subjects where I can find other information. The search terms I've used so far have given me some valuable sources. However, I know I should narrow them down further and modify them further to get the most beneficial sources possible for at this point in the research process.